The topic today is how to help with decision making and problem solving through problem-based learning, simulation, and case studies. Case studies have been proven to enhance nursing education, perhaps even more than lecture-based learning. It allows the learner to interact more with the learning process as the case study becomes more elaborate with each question. A study was done at a school of nursing in Spain to evaluate the use of case study questions on sophomore students to evaluate their patient assessment skills and their errors in the process steps. The method that was used was to put students into two different groups, the control group and the intervention group. In the control group, students were given straight 80-minute lectures over the information. This was in students that were in a medical surgical class. In the intervention group, students were given 50 minutes of lectures and 30 minutes of case study questions working together. In the end test results, the students who had done case studies together as a group had much better patient assessment skills than those who were only educated in lectures. Simulation. Simulation can also provide opportunities to make real-life decisions that have an impact and a result without endangering a human life. With self-reflection, a learner can then know their thought processes and where to make amends and change practices if needed. With the advanced technology available today, everything about a real-life hospital environment can be created in a sim lab. A learner can evaluate their priorities and their reaction times as well. Problem-based learning. This often occurs in groups of students gathering together to problem solve a given realistic scenario. Students are guided to be independent in their thought processes as they work together. The whole goal of problem-based learning is to improve critical thinking skills. A biblical approach to this topic can be Ecclesiastes 4:9. Two are better than one because they have good reward for their labor. The next verse goes on to say that when one falls down, the other one is there to pick them up. This verse can be an example of problem-based learning scenarios. God gave us all different personalities and talents, and when we work together and talk about the options, we can each problem solve individually and create a great solution together. A personal application to this topic. I've personally experienced the benefit of simulation in my own nursing practice as a student. When learning about ventilators in class at first, I had a really hard time understanding the different needs for each vent setting. Once I learned though about the ventilators in the simulation lab, and I got to see each piece of equipment, and I even was able to explain each vent setting process to another person, I understood ventilators so much more. In the actual simulation, I had to call respiratory therapy and explain my patient's vent settings and what I had done to help them already. Within saying this to another person and feeling the equipment in my own hand, I was able to understand so much more about ventilators and problem solve throughout the sim that I was going through and to put all the pieces together. Questions to consider. What is a way that simulation, case study practice, or problem-based learning have made a difference in helping you understand a concept? How can current practicing nurses practice problem-based learning to improve their critical thinking skills? As we all know, critical thinking skills can continue to be developed even as we are currently practicing. How was self-reflection after a simulation or a case study learning benefited you in decision-making later in the clinical setting? These are the references for the book and journal that I used.